Happy new month, everyone! The month of Aquarius is ahead of us. Now, I would like to share with you a little bit about this sign and also this specific month, what's happening cosmically. But I find that this specific month of Aquarius is super important, not just because it's the time right now and we should be prepared, but also from a point of view of what's happening this year cosmically. The energy that is moving from the sign of Capricorn towards the sign of Aquarius is much more meaningful for us in the larger picture of life and in moving forward, not just this year, but in general. So let's talk about Aquarius a little bit. First of all, there is a reason, there is a meaning for each sign to come right after the sign that comes before at this particular order. So for example, we start the zodiac wheel with the sign of Aries. It's first, it's full of energy, it's full of desire, it's full of physical energy, and we end the zodiac wheel with the sign of Pisces. Pisces is considered to be the most connected to the spiritual realm. It's like the end of the process. It's what's concealed, and before we connecting completely to the spiritual realm. So what's the connection between Capricorn and Aquarius, and what's the evolvement of the energy? So Capricorn is the top of the chart. Capricorn is the energy of structure, is the energy of the destiny, the climbing the ladder, going up, order, structure, goals, being persistent, and having this energy and strength to persevere in a physical sense. Now, the energy of Aquarius, it's out of boundaries. If Capricorn, it's all about structure and boundaries, Aquarius, it's outside of the boundaries. And what's interesting is that according to astrology and more traditional astrology, the old age astrology, Saturn was the planet that ruled both signs, which are almost completely the opposite. Saturn is the planet of structure, of limitation, of time, and each of those signs is actually affected by it differently. Capricorn is more governed by the element of structure, more governed by the energy and the idea of boundaries and limitation, and Aquarius is rebelling this energy. It's the energy of breaking it free. It's going outside of the box. It's being creative. It's thinking about something for the first time, doing it completely in a different and untraditional way. Now, in modern astrology, the planet Uranus, this is the planet that was revealed. It's actually ruling and controlling and giving its energy to the sign of Aquarius. Now, what is Uranus all about? So first of all, Uranus is about unexpected. Uranus is about rocking the boat, and if you can imagine a roller coaster and things are happening unpredictably, things are happening unexpectedly, this is what Uranus is representing, and this is the energy of Aquarius. This is what it's all about. And when you do your astrological chart, you will find out about Uranus a lot of things. Wherever it sits in your chart, it tells you in what areas you need to break your limitations a little bit, where you should expect things to go in your life in an unexpected way, but that you should be open-minded for it. And when you learn a little bit more about astrology, it's something I want to share with you today because it's very proper for right now, for the month of Aquarius and generally in the year. When you do your chart and you see how Uranus operates with your chart throughout your growth, throughout your lifetime, you see that Uranus forms a little bit of a challenging aspect with the birth chart in very challenging times in someone's lifetime. Usually it's in the time of adolescence, it's the time of midlife, like midlife crisis, and it's the time that people retire. Those are the times that we are encouraged to ask questions, right? Things are happening. Things are not operating the same. We need to choose a different reality. And there is a little bit of a shake-up of energy, of consciousness, of awareness. Now, are we prepared for it? Or are we not prepared for it? If we're not prepared for it, those type of activities in our lives, times of our life, can be like a crisis, can be like something we really don't understand and we don't know how to operate with. But what the energy of Aquarius and Uranus is encouraging us to do, not just in those times, but right now in the universe, moving forward in the upcoming few months, and specifically this month, is to learn how to handle this unexpected energy, is to be open-minded, is to ask questions, and to be willing and to be able to break free from limitations and to look at things outside of the box and welcome a new reality into our life. Uranus is an external planet. Saturn is the one that is ending the personal planets, the one that are closer to the sun. And Uranus, together with Pluto and Neptune, are external planets. Uranus represents a higher octave of the planet Mercury. Mercury is about logic, Mercury is about knowledge, and Uranus is outside of that. It's spiritual awareness, it's global awareness, it's bigger, it's outside of the box. So everything that Mercury represents, which is the idea of knowledge and logic in a more physical sense, Uranus is striving for. This is the planet that actually represents the idea of astrology, the cosmos, outside of what is familiar for us, the planet that can push us to the most spiritual place as well. Now, in this month, we're challenged with few things, and this is something we want to pay attention to, we want to avoid. The energy of a desire to rebel. The energy of like, I want to do things differently and for whatever cost. I don't care what other people feel. So we can be a little bit unemotional and detached from people, and we want to avoid that type of energy. This is something we want to avoid. And in the other hand, we already mentioned, something we want to welcome is the approach of welcoming the creative, welcoming the new, welcoming the outside of the box approach and thinking, and caring for things that are global, that are bigger, not just the small things and the day-to-day, but also caring for the world and growing our care and love for others in a more humanitarian level. This is what Aquarius are so great at. They're great at thinking about the world, caring about the world, doing things and being active in making the world a better place. So this is something we can all connect with. So what is happening this month in the cosmos that can support us with the spiritual work that we want to do in this month? The first thing is on the 3rd of February, the planet Mercury enters into the sign of Pisces. Now, each planet has places where they like to be at, and there are places that they don't like to be there so much because it doesn't really match their energy. Pisces doesn't really match the energy of Mercury. Mercury is a planet that typically pushes us to think logically, wants us to connect to what makes sense. And Pisces is no boundaries. Pisces connects us to the spiritual realm, to the creative realm, to the imaginative realm. So what happens in these upcoming few weeks is that a positive idea that can develop from that movement is that we can be more creative. We can think more creatively, more outside of the box, which is aligned with the energy of Aquarius, and be more imaginative. On the other hand, what we want to be careful from is that when we need to make decisions that has to be aligned with common sense and be more logical, maybe it will be a little bit more challenging. Another element we should pay attention to is the element of lying. Now, sometimes we don't admit that we lie. We can lie to ourselves, we can lie to people, we can fall into the illusionary reality. And this is something we really want to be careful from. We want to be honest. And if we feel we're falling into any type of lying, we want to really pay attention for it. Especially from February 16th, when Mercury turns into retrograde. This is the challenge that can raise in the universe and can challenge all of us. So let's pay attention for that. The second thing that is happening is that on February 7th, Venus, the planet Venus, moved into the sign of Aries. Now, this is something that signals us to find a balance in our love life. Because what happens sometimes when Venus is in Aries, we tend to focus mostly on self-love and on receiving rather than sharing. So for those of us that it's easier for them to share and to give and not to look at themselves or not to spend time with themselves and invest in doing things that make you feel good, that raise the level of self-love, this will be a good time because it's going to encourage you to take care of yourself. But for those of us that have a hard time to share and to give in our life and a little bit more introverted, make sure that you don't fall into the reality of just focus on yourself and being a little bit more closed to share with others and express your love. So we want to really find the balance with this type of movement of Venus into Aries. The next planet, we have many planets moving to signs in this month, which they're going to be there for a few weeks or a little bit more, is Mars moving into Capricorn. So if before we said Mercury doesn't like to be in Pisces, Mars loves to be in Capricorn. On February 16th, this is the time when Mars, the planet of action, of doing, going into this practical, logical, very manifesting sign of Capricorn. So what it can help us to do is to manifest and get things closer to the finish line, especially in the month of Aquarius, when ideas are big but not always the idea of how to manifest and bring things down to earth. The movement of Mars into Capricorn on February 16th can be very powerful. So many things is happening in the cosmos right now. Things are happening on a daily basis. Those are just a little bit of the highlights, things we want to pay attention to have a beautiful and powerful and transformative month. Have a great month, everyone.